Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
Hey there. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
I'm watching the men's Australian finals right now.
So yes,
Problem with
if
going
James all
live.
of a sudden gets very excited about an eBay find or something,
Yeah.
that's not that. Somebody got a score.
I thought this might finish up, but we're in the final game here, so just got to watch a couple more points. And oh my gosh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right. Well, got that going on in the background. I'm keeping tabs on it. How are you doing, John?
Well, I'm doing better than my Color Classic. I have to say, I like to have a couple computers pretty close to that. Yeah. Went to start up this morning and I got Chimes of Doom.
Oh no!
I did the normal stuff, just kind of pulled the board, tried to reseat everything, and I'm still getting it. And I'm sure it's probably the analog board, which I'm not looking forward to, because if anyone's ever looked up the cap kit for the analog board, it's a lot of caps. It's a lot of stuff to swap out. So
What was the need to turn it on this morning?
oh, just I like to have something on behind me.
Oh, just in the back there. I
Mhm.
got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's officially start the episode. We do two starts. We do the start for everybody here on the YouTube stream, and then we do one for that really counts, the audio podcast one. So, all right, you ready?
I'm set.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 601 for January 30th, 2022. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
You were just saying you have a sad Mac behind you.
I have a very sad Mac.
We don't
Chimes
get
of
to see her.
Doom Mac.
Your Color
Yes.
Classic. Yes. Now, that had to be... You had fixed it before, right?
No.
Oh, no,
All I had
this-
ever
you
done to
hadn't
this
had
one
to-
was the 640 by 480 mod
Oh.
with the Mystic upgrade. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's run flawlessly for many, many, many years until it didn't. So
Something.
that's the downside of
Alright.
collecting old Macs. Yes.
Yeah, it happens. Well, what are we talking about today? We got something you unearthed.
My mystery box. Yes, my mystery device.
Yeah.
We will delve into what I had to do to figure out what it was and who made it, really, more than what it was. So
I hope that's a good story.
no,
a sad
it's
Mac
very
story.
boring, but we're gonna
Oh.
we're gonna walk through it anyway.
All right. We've got that coming up, and we've got some eBay finds, a little bit of news, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Wow, good
Well,
morning,
it's
everyone.
tied
Good morning,
5-all
Dave,
in the fifth set. If anybody's paying attention out there, you can
Jeremy, Trina, Michael.
do a
Michael, I wonder if Michael's watching the match.
Yeah.
You said this is happening right now.
right.
This is live, isn't it? Like midnight in Australia.
Yeah, whatever time it is in Australia.
That's a
It is.
wow.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, we're 5-all in the fifth set. And here we go.
Apple's
So-
Anonymous.
Oh, yeah.
Dave. Right. Hello, everyone.
Tied 30-30. All right. Let's see. eBay finds. Let's bring that up. All right. And whenever you're ready.
I am ready.
And 3, 2, 1. Time now for the eBay finds. Last week we had that pretty rare, that demo series library for Macintosh has the demo versions of some of the popular Macintosh applications that the the beginning there, along with the full manuals. This was available, still is available, $499.99, where you can make an offer. Then we had the that mysterious little trinket, is what they called
the
it.
metal kind of
Metal little
laptopy looking oddness. Yes.
Yeah, looks sort of official. It's got the Macintosh and the proper font and a little Apple logo in there, but who knows what that was for. Still available by now, $175. You can make an offer on that. And finally, from last week, the Kite, the Apple Kite, I showed off the one I have. That's not this one for sale. This one, bidding has ended. It did not sell. They had a pretty healthy opening bid price of $899.
Mm-hmm.
So no bids. I don't see that it's been relisted. All right. Moving along, and now Nadal has the advantage in this game, possibly going to break and be able to serve out the fifth set, so that's exciting. Let's see. What are we starting with? We're starting with this. These are interesting. If you have a Macintosh Portable, it'd be nice if you had something that you could charge up a second battery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? Now, which is kind of interesting because I don't know, it's not that easy to pop the batteries of these things. I guess it
wasn't that bad. It was
not
just
that bad. You gotta open the case
panel
up though.
Well, but it's got latches to open up the back case.
True.
The case.
Yeah. And these things had long battery lives, the portables, right? They had these lead acid like car batteries. 8 hours you could get on these things. It was kind of insane. I mean, they were big batteries.
Yeah, they weighed like 6 pounds each battery.
So if you had a long haul and got a second battery, you could charge it up externally and just swap them. And so you get this battery charger from Apple. You don't see these very often, especially with the original packaging like this one. I think the seller thinks that these are rare too because they're asking $1,499.98 by now.
Wow.
Or you can make an offer. Wow. Yeah,
I have
broke,
one of these.
By the way.
I got the tray part. I do not have the AC/DC adapter, and of course I don't have.
It's the same one, isn't it? I think it's the same adapter as the portable itself.
Oh, okay, all right.
I believe so.
Huh?
Yeah.
This
one ships from Garden Grove, California, and I don't really see an end on the auction, so just to buy it now. Okay. What do you got?
All right. Next up, we have a 1991 Macintosh Classic 2. 2 meg RAM, 1.4 meg floppy, and a 40 meg hard drive, complete in box. And the box is oh so clean. Wow. These were not easy boxes to keep clean because they weren't like glossy. So, every little scuff stayed on these things. It was
plus the light colors,
and it was really cool because the picture of the computer on the side of the box is kind of this nice dithered picture of the Classic 2. It's got a nice red Apple logo, and the Apple is in red as well. So it's a very striking box. Now this one is an actual honest to goodness auction, not a buy it now for some ridiculous price. I don't know what the starting price was, but right now it's got 8 bids. It's up to $205. Still has a day and 1 day 7 hours to go. Wow, this is coming out of Michigan.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? The color.
It is. Yeah, it looks really great. They've got a lot of great photos up here. Now, it does not boot. The seller is surprised this unit did not boot up because it was running perfectly a few years ago. And we all know that it's not very much a surprise that this unit doesn't not boot up because this is another one that had a lot of problems with the capacitors on the board itself, on the motherboard, the logic board. So yeah, not surprising. Whoever does get this, I hope that they know they need to open it up and get the board out and give it a nice wash to stop any further corrosion than what's already happened to it.
Now they say it doesn't boot, but does it do anything?
They don't say. They
Yeah.
don't say. Yeah, there's no pictures of it like on and. But yes,
Right.
I see what you mean. You know, does not
Yeah.
boot is a very is
Different,
really
yeah.
not that descriptive. Is it does not boot could be it doesn't turn on. Does not boot means you get the flashing question mark. I'm
This
going
might
to
be-
guess with this, it does not boot. It does not power on.
Well,
at
it'd
all.
be worth asking the question. Sometimes people don't
That
know
is true.
the
Yeah.
terminology. Does not boot. They may not know that.
So
That means
here's a
something
question I
entirely
have.
different than does not power on. Yeah.
Of course, this one came with the little round microphone, and
Yeah.
if there's a picture on this that shows an adapter, a holder for that microphone,
Right.
did that come with the system, or is that a third party thing? Because I've seen those on several systems.
It came with the
before.
microphone.
It did come with the microphone. Okay,
Mhm.
nice.
I don't
was
see a
not
picture of
aware.
the microphone.
They
it came
mentioned
with the
though that
little-
the microphone is in there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is. I
comes-
see
it.
it.
Original
There it
manuals,
is.
mouse,
Yeah.
keyboard cover.
Yeah, right there.
System 7 discs, microphone, mouse pad, power cord, and keyboard, coiled cord. See pictures. So, yes.
All right. For the YouTube audience, Nadal is now serving for the championship. So that's exciting.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you realize this. You
Yeah.
mentioned right in the middle of the auctions something about the tennis match. So,
Yeah.
it can be very confusing to anyone
for the
audio
recorded
listeners.
So they're
yes.
doing this live. The Australian men's finals going on right now. And Nadal is just about to win it, and there he is.
Oh, was that? I didn't notice the seller on. No, it's not. Somebody mentioned Mr. Polka Dots, and I know exactly what that reference is to. It's to one of our least favorite eBay sellers who usually has very inflated prices. I'm assuming this is referring to the portable battery.
Oh,
Yes,
I
but
see.
yeah,
Yeah, that
no
makes
Polka
sense.
Dots, and not that seller. So this must be Polka Dots Junior.
all right. Let's move on to the next one. And I'm bringing this one up for a reason because I'm going to talk about it later in the news. We're going to talk more about what you might be able to do with these today. Of course, this is the Apple TV first generation. This one is a 160 gigabyte version with remote. Remember, the earlier Apple TV versions had that kind of cool. They kind of resembled a half height Mac Mini case. I think were they the same footprint?
I want
Maybe
to
a
say
little
they were-
wider,
They
I
were
think.
wider. They were
Yeah.
wider. They're actually probably more the footprint of a newer Mac Mini.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, which are skinnier but
Yeah,
flatter. Yeah.
right. Sharp cases and great for projects. Did you wind up ever doing stuff with these? Did you ever play around with one of these?
I don't think I even have one
You
of
don't
the
have
first
one.
gens.
Oh, okay.
No. Mm-mm.
All right. Anyway,
Of course, maybe I will end up with one because
yeah, they're fairly inexpensive, and we'll find out later what you can do with them. Buy it now, $19.95. This one ships from St. Paul, Minnesota. You can get these pretty readily and at these kind of good prices. But what would you do with them? Well, it's up to you. So, yeah, because they wouldn't. Gosh, I don't think these haven't been supported in years by Apple for online content. I bet you could still hook this up. Now,
sure,
could you
sure,
hook it up to a
and
new
run your
Mac?
own content.
Yeah, I don't know if it would still connect to your music, because they used to connect to iTunes and sync. It was kind of like an iPod for your TV. It kind of had a different sort of concept of operation back then. But anyway, yeah, decent prices and so there you have it.
Looking in the comments here, I see Brian was mentioning that have you ever done an episode on the Macintosh at universities? He's currently researching the history of Mac at Drexel. And I know we've talked about one of the Drexel Macs before because it's come up on eBay.
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah. And I think you kind of delved into it a little bit, but not I don't know if we did a whole episode on that.
I don't think so. Of course, that was Steve Jobs' way of getting the Macs out there early on by getting them into universities, and there were, what was there, 10, a dozen? I don't know the number of schools that they targeted, and got early Macs. All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Switch
Let's.
gears here.
I'm going to move my camera around a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Oops, that doesn't look good. Yep, there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Well, what were you doing? Were you rummaging around? Where does this thing?
Yeah. I was rummaging through boxes, and I found a fairly nondescript gray box. Fortunately, it was in a plastic bag with the an EIDE controller card and the power supply. So that is unusual for me to actually have this all together. I have no idea whatsoever where I got this.
Where you got it?
Or when or how. However, looking at the box itself, there is zero indicator on the top or bottom as to who manufactured this. No information whatsoever. The only clue I had was on the bottom. It has an FCC ID number. Oops. There we go. Was an FCC ID number. Okay, so you can kind of see that it's a little out of focus. That's okay. So of course I started with that. Fortunately, there was an eBay auction for something that actually had listed that ID number on it, and I don't know if you can bring that up. I sent you the link this morning.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if you want to bring it up, but so it turns out that this is an MCE Tech Data Shuffle. So of course the next thing to do was to go look around, and believe it or not, MCE Data Tech is still an ongoing company. So I was able to go into Internet Archive and bring up the page from the earliest page.
From you.
No, it's
go
good.
back to yours.
I'm sorry.
Go back to yours.
Hang on. Solo layout. There we go. Where was it? Okay, yeah. So fortunately, Wayback Machine actually had an entry from the early 2000s. Actually, I think from 2000 itself. So I was able to find out that this is a data shuffle. And yeah, unfortunately, there's not a picture. So what it turns out this is a data kit, includes an empty enclosure, PC card, cable, padded carrying pouch, instructions, how to install the 2.5 ID hard drive. So this was, if you were upgrading, you could either get it as a kit where you're upgrading the hard drive in your system and wanted to use the old one as in an external enclosure, or you could buy one with various size hard drives inside. So their biggest one, the wow, this is amazing one, was the MCE 18 gig data shuffle.
Oh my gosh,
$499.
And what year do we say this was roughly?
So it's from like 1999, 2000. 2000 was the earliest reference I could find, because that's the as far back as the Wayback Machine went for it. So chances are it's actually this particular model is actually a little bit older, because one of the things that they mentioned in the blurb on the website was that it gets power from the card. And this one is that is not the case with the unit I have. You actually have to plug it in to get. So I played with it here in my my tie book, my G4 tie book. It's fine in in OS 9 or OS 10. I love the fact that if you've got it plugged into an OS 10 machine, you actually get a little PCIA. I'm sorry. The
PCMCIA.
Yes, thank you. Card as a icon on the drive. I did reformat this. I did install OS 9 on it in hopes that you could, just to see if you could actually boot from this, and the answer for that is a resounding no. It does not want to boot. Does not show up in OS 10 as a bootable operating system or an OS 9, so that's not the issue. It doesn't show up when you hold down the Option key when you first start up the system. So I was a little sad at that because this would have been really great. I've got some of the other laptops that don't have a floppy drive. Some of the and this would have been a great way to get those back up and running. So little sad on that, but all in all, pretty cool little device. It would be very neat. You could actually throw. Oh yeah, the other thing is the hard drive that came in this did not work, did not show up. It was just an IBM drive. Let's see how it's a 4 gig drive. Fortunately, I had a spare from where I had put a solid state in my TiBook, and yeah, so it showed up just fine.
So you said you formatted. Did you have to format, or was there already
No.
stuff on there?
Of course, no. Well, again, the drive it came with did not work. The drive I put in it from the TiBook showed up just fine. It still had 10.3 on it, but I wanted it, and it wouldn't start in 10.3, so I thought I'd throw a OS 9 on there just to see if I got any different results. Yeah. Oh yeah, and like I said, the MCE is still an ongoing company. I love the fact that their logo has not changed in 20 years. It is this kind of almost retro chrome MCE big letters. So it's like they didn't go the route of a flat looking icon. They didn't go the route of anything. They just stuck with those awesome kind of chrome fake letters, which is great. I mean that looks like something from the 80s still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still selling a lot of parts.
Yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
Little Mac Minis and things. Yeah. Well, that's a cool little option if you're still using one of those old PowerBooks or MacBooks. And $30 was that one that was auction. So it's funny you don't even know where you got it.
You're right. Yeah, there's an auction up for one right now if you want to get one. So yeah, $30, not bad.
Not bad at all. Well, sweet. That's always fun when you find something and you can get it to work in your collection. I was wondering if it had like some gems of software on it. That's what I was wondering.
I was hoping to see what was on the original drive. I was kind of sad that it did not show up at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's too bad. Okay.
Oh yes. So that was it is the Vader's TIE Fighter. Yeah, this particular laptop. I'm sorry. One of the comments, Trina was wondering if it was the Deep Space Nine station, and it kind of does look like that. The icon I've got on my TiBook. But TiBook, so I went with TIE Fighter and Death Star for the icons on that.
All right, let's transition to the news. Okay, and let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, time for the news. We're going to rewind the clock a little bit because I just stumbled across this now. This is, I'll pull it up here, an article in Technally, News, Jobs, and Events in Philadelphia for a Community of Tech Professionals. This was published back in 2011. The article is Susan Kerr, Regional Rail, and the original Macintosh fonts. An interview in here, worth reading the whole thing. But I just wanted to point out one little excerpt. It says, Rosemont, Ardmore, Overbrook, Paoli, locally their second nature simply stops on the regional rail. It turns out that the fonts that we are so familiar with that came on the original Mac, they were named after the cities of the world. Chicago, Monaco, Geneva, New York, right? To name a few. Mm-hmm. They were actually going to be named after towns in Philadelphia. And so that was what was going to go on. And she says that they were going to be named that. And she says like Chicago was going to be named Elephant. And they had to change the titles because Steve Jobs thought our idea of city names was fine, but suggested that world-class cities would be better than suburban towns and such. They went with New York, Geneva, Venice, Chicago, etc. So it's kind of interesting. I never heard that little story about those fonts. I think he had the right idea, right? I mean, she was just trying to
Oh,
honor
sure. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's cool that,
being from
what she was trying
Philadelphia.
to do, but
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Moving on. This is why we talked about the first gen Apple TV earlier. And I remember people doing this years ago, that you could load versions of the Mac OS on it. Of course, it ran some stripped down whatever interface or the Apple TV interface. But it turns out at the heart there is an Intel processor in there, and the right tricks, you can get it to load and store and just run an operating system. And so that had been done years ago, and I guess the trail had gone cold out there in the internet in terms of where you could get the images. And so over on Reddit in the Vintage Apple, Cold Gene 4634 decided to dig into it and went ahead and got an image together, and then has posted that for the community. Is running 10.5.5 here on that, along with running some emulation packages too to run a various piece of software. There's Marathon that's running.
Nice.
And so the whole account of how to do this, the instructions and everything, are on Tinker Different.
Ah, very nice.
Right.
Shout out to Tinker Different.
Tinker Different. So go into Tinker Different. It's called Installing Mac OS 10 Leopard on the Apple TV first generation. You'll need a Mac running Tiger, because you got to set all this up on that end. And then the first generation Apple TV, a USB drive, 16 gigs later, a powered USB hub, because you need to be able to power both the USB drive and the keyboard and mouse. Of course, a monitor or TV connected via HDMI, and audio connected due to the audio jacks, if you want sound. And there's a link to
wait a second.
download.
I would also assume if it was an HDMI monitor, you'd get the sound over.
Yeah, he says that they don't put the audio out via HDMI in that operating system build.
Oh,
yeah. Now
okay.
Maybe somebody can get
Patch
it to work or whatever, but for now that's what you're limited to. So yeah, I might have to do that. I've got a couple of those things, I think.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see you try it. Now, was there other than the fact that the Apple TV was way cheaper than a Mac Mini back then? Obviously, this isn't really upgradable at all. What are we talking about for RAM, and the hard drive size is probably pretty dinky, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, that's going to be your limitations, right? You're not going to be. Well, it's not like you'd be using it for.
That is true. This is one of those you do it just because you can.
You do it because you can. Yeah. You load some games on there. It's kind of a cool thing to do. But you're right. I mean, it would certainly have limitations storage wise. But I mean, from the pictures here and some of the comments I read, it does run some of these old games pretty well. The performance is quite good.
Well, so, because it was supposed to be able to decode your whatever video format you could use. Right. I'm sure the GPU is probably a little bit, well, maybe not beefy, but it had to be decent enough to be able to do that.
It was, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So head on over there to Tinker Different. Okay.
I see Apple's Anonymous mentioned that they tried to deal with MCE in the early to mid 2000s. They were trying to import the stuff to Australia, but they were expensive. I think shipping anything to Australia or from Australia is pretty expensive, isn't it? I know I bought a few bits and pieces of stuff from hobbyists in Australia, and sometimes the shipping is almost as much as the item itself.
Right. All right. Well,
So James,
yeah. What?
over what I see as your to your left, the you want to talk about your sign back there, because from here it
I
just looks like a
will.
flat. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it doesn't really show up that well. How about we'll close out the episode and then I'll talk about that.
Great. Okay. Thanks.
Just to complete the story on the Apple First Gen.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1 gigahertz Intel Pentium M with 256 megs of RAM and either a 40 or 160 gig hard drive. So not too shabby. You talk about
Okay.
160 gigs.
For back then, sure.
And a GPU was the NVIDIA GeForce Go 7300, which had 64 megs of RAM. So not bad at all
Yeah.
not bad at all for especially if you pick one up for $30 and load up an operating system, get a handful of stuff running on there. Yeah, because they had decent hard drives. Because remember they were designed to store all kinds of.
That is true. You
Media.
weren't streaming over the network the way you are now.
Yeah, it was like it was like an iPod for your TV. So the thought was, you'd put all this stuff on there and it would just sync to your iTunes library. Okay, let's close the episode out, and then we'll talk about for the audio listeners, we'll close it out and then we'll talk about what's behind me. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Well, that about wraps it up. Next week, I'll have to talk to you, John, about my schedule.
All right.
I think I can make it work. We'll be into February. Maybe we'll dip into the time capsule, see what's going on. We haven't done that in a little while. Anything else we need to talk about?
Nothing on my end. No.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll I think be back next week. And until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. So this behind me it does look very flat. It's not flat. Let's see if I can get this without ripping my headphones off. Head. I was moving stuff around the other day, and I keep moving this around because I don't know what to do with it yet. I think I need to hang it on the wall. Of course, it is an Apple sign. It is made of metal. It's got a little,
that is gorgeous.
Gold trim around there. Was
it a dealer sign, or was it something that was
Yes.
made after the fact sort of thing?
No, I believe it was a dealer sign, and it may have been lit up, but I don't really see any evidence of there. I don't think I've ever
Really.
You can unscrew
it looks like it's built for that.
Yeah, maybe, but
Wow.
this is not very translucent. I mean, it's a
See-through?
dark
Okay.
red. Yeah, so I'm
okay.
not sure it would light up. And plus, there's no. Well, I guess there's a pass through to the leaf, so it's not a separate. So you could run lights up. Yeah, I don't know. This might be one to play with.
Have you ever
light
run
that up.
have you ever just shown like a little flashlight through you said if there's a hole in the back, just to see if you could see the light out the front, like off your phone or something?
Yeah, I could do that. Well, I mean, there's just a handful of screws here too.
Okay.
But there are mounting holes on the back here,
Oh, great. Okay.
so it'd be really easy to hang. And this thing's heavy. It's solid metal.
It is,
I mean,
man. It just looks
really
so classy with the chrome and the.
Yeah, look, you
the
can see the
red.
reflection
Nice.
of the stained glass
Oh,
Apple there on my window. So it's just I'll figure out a good way to light this thing and then hang it someplace. I got like a few more square feet of space on my walls. So I don't know, and I assume I got that on eBay. It's been many, many years since I got that, and it's never hung up. So one of these days. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And yeah, we got a lot of folks coming in, and I'm sorry I was distracted watching that tennis match, but that was history.
How'd that turn out for you? Is it still going on? Is it
Oh, no,
over?
it ended. Yeah, Nadal
Okay.
won. He made history. 21 Grand Slams. All right. We'll be back next time. And I did get a request that we can actually end it out properly with music and the outro, and so we'll just say goodbye like this.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in and joining us this morning, evening,
Thanks for listening to the
afternoon.
RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.